Good morning, yogis, and welcome to this beautiful morning Yin Yoga Fusion class. Today's class is about meeting ourselves where we're at to begin noticing some small changes we can begin to make in order to take steps towards living a more intentional and mindful life. So we're going to be combining some gentle movement to becoming more aware of what our body is feeling, where we're holding that tension, as well as inviting in some mobility, as well as holding some poses for a few minutes in order to go deeper into that fascia and connective tissue to release that stored emotional energy, stress, and to really get deeper into that meditative state of mind as well. So if you're ready, grab a mat or whatever you have available to you, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're gonna get started today in our reclined butterfly pose. I have my old phone here as a timer, so if you see me messing with this, I'm just checking our time to keep track of our poses today. So we're going to begin in our reclined butterfly on our backs, bringing the soles of the feet together, just allowing those knees to fall away. Go ahead and gently tuck the shoulder blades down and back. Maybe even inviting those arms overhead, just since we have our hands by our sides most of the day, this is a good opportunity to open through the chest. And as we settle here, just begin to deepen that breath, inhaling, feeling the low belly rise. Exhaling fully and slowly, allowing all the air to leave the lungs as the body sinks a little heavier to the mat. Taking these first few mindful moments to just observe whatever condition you're in today without judgment. Just noticing the body, the state of the mind, and emotions. Just noticing if the mind is busy or still, filled with worry, excitement. Again, not judging, just observing, and then bringing that awareness back to that breath. Inhaling as the belly rises. Exhale, letting go of anything you don't need in this moment. We've got just over a minute left here. I invite you now to go ahead and set an intention or a practice, or intention or a mantra for our practice today. Any short, positive, present tense statement, such as I am mindful and intentional with my time. Where I am is exactly where I need to be. I am confident and at ease with myself. Or any other intention you wish to choose. Inhaling, breathing in that intention. Feeling what it would be like to be true if you fully believed it. Exhaling, letting go of any self-limiting beliefs, anything that's not serving you right now. With your next exhale, go ahead and close those knees together. Staying on the back here for a moment and begin to just take some windshield wipers of those legs, dropping the knees to the left and the right. Just inviting some gentle mobility into the low back here. Noticing if one side feels any different from the other side. Good, returning to center. Go ahead and lift those knees up now. As you exhale, allow the legs to fall to the left, looking over that right shoulder, being sure both shoulders stay grounded to the mat here. And think about aligning those knees so they aren't sliding apart, so that we're keeping that twist happening through the spine. And if you need something under the knees for a little extra support, that's totally fine as well. So again, come back to that breath here. Finding our stillness now. Once you find that edge, that place of tension, of release beginning to happen. As we're here, maybe coming back to that intention that you set, perhaps considering now what gaps there are between your current state of mind and getting to that place of fully believing that intention or that mantra, or getting to that place of where your behaviors match the intentions. Just considering for a moment, maybe that's things you need to let go of, habits, beliefs, or maybe things you need to invite in, perhaps different habits, forgiveness, whether for yourself or others. Again, not bringing any judgment here, but just taking a moment to observe with self-honesty whatever comes up for yourself. Take a few more deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, return to center. Allow those knees to fall to the right now. Again, keeping those knees stacked, twisting from the hips, or from the spine, Keeping those shoulders grounded to the mat here. And just observing any difference on this side compared to that first side. Breathing in deeply, feeling that expanse through the ribcage. Exhale, letting go. Staying with the breath here. Each time the mind wanders, simply observing whatever is present for you, whatever comes up. Trying to usher the awareness back to that breath. We've got a little over a minute left here. I'm going to leave you that time to go inward, to reflect in silence. One more inhale here. As you exhale, returning to center now. Take a moment, just hug those knees in toward the chest. And exhale, extending the legs. Just gonna turn over onto our stomachs now. I'm actually gonna turn this way in case the light is a little more harsh on that end. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and press back, sinking our hips down toward the heels for our child's pose. Forehead coming towards the mat. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, gently begin to round through that spine, coming up maybe just toward the tabletop. Maybe this is as far as you're gonna come. Maybe you're gonna drop those hips all the way forward. Be sure to listen to your body here. And as you exhale, arching through the back, we're gonna begin to round back to that child's pose, leading with the hips, forehead coming back down to the mat. And inhale, rounding forward. And exhale, sinking it back. Moving to your own speed here. Again, making this practice your own, meeting yourself wherever you're at today. Good, and with your next inhale coming forward, allow that chest to come down to the mat here. Planting the fingertips, tenting them at the sides of the mat. We're just going to begin taking some waves, inhaling the chest up, exhaling down. Again, just coming up as high as feels right for you today. Think about trying to move through each vertebrae of the spine. Maybe coming up and holding it, sinking those shoulder blades down and back. Perhaps shifting one shoulder forward and the other shoulder back. Just switching sides, if that feels okay in the body. Good, return down. Go ahead and plant the hands beneath the shoulders. We're going to come back to our tabletop, tuck the toes, press into down dog here. Or just stay in tabletop if you don't want to do your down dog today. That's totally fine too. Taking a moment to maybe walk out your dog, rock the hips side to side. Just observing whatever tension is present within the back of the legs today. Take an inhale. As you exhale, step the right foot between the hands, lowering that back knee. Just being sure that that front knee isn't coming beyond the toes here. We want it roughly above that ankle. Then you can begin to make sure the hips are tucked under and sink them forward for our low lunge here. Just taking a moment, taking any micro adjustments that you need. And we're going to inhale, waving the arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Really squeezing those shoulder blades together. Inhale, sweeping the arms forward. Exhale, peel the chest open as we cactus the arms. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Actively reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, down and back. One more time, let's reach forward, inhale. Exhale, cactus. Go ahead and push the arms out to the sides now. Again, make sure the shoulder blades are rolled down and back. Here we're going to begin to drop the ear to the right, or the head to the right shoulder as the right fingertips drop down towards the ground and the left fingertips stay pointed up. As we inhale, we come back to center, dropping the left fingertips as the left ear drops to the shoulder, right fingertips pulling up. So again, inhale, switching sides. So whichever direction the head is falling, those fingertips are falling. The opposite hand, fingertips are pulling up. Just gently flossing through the nerves here. Releasing that tension in the upper body while beginning to go deeper into the hips. All right, go ahead and release the arms now. Let's heel toe that front foot a little closer toward the outer edge side of the mat, finding our dragon pose, or perhaps lizard pose, you may hear it called. And so feel free to take some micro adjustments here, maybe moving that shoulder away and closer toward that knee. Just observing again where those areas are in your body today. And here you have the option of staying up on the hands, maybe coming down to the elbows. Or I'm going to give you one more variation today, the most advanced. If you want to go a little deeper into that quad, you can go ahead and reach for the back toes with the opposite hand. Being sure that those hips are still sinking forward first, that we aren't bringing the hips back in order to reach that foot. So just take whichever variation feels right for you today. Again, settle into your stillness. We're just going to hold this for 2 minutes since we've already been holding it while doing our upper body work as well. Coming back to that breath now, inhaling mindfully, finding our presence here. Exhale, letting go of anything you don't need right now, right here. Letting go of any thoughts or worries. Any of those mental patterns that aren't helping to move you closer towards your goals, those intentions or values. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and release the back foot if you were taking that variation. Taking your time as we begin to slide that back leg up behind the front leg. So finding our way into our seated spinal twist here. I'll just turn to face you. So again, your first variation you can take is just simply hugging that knee in toward the chest. Or you can use that opposite elbow to opposite leg to begin to twist through the spine here. So take whichever variation feels right for you. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, twisting a little deeper. Maybe taking that bind through the legs if that's within your practice. As you inhale, draw that breath to the belly, through the ribs, up to the chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly. Just noticing how that use of the breath intentionally can expand our stretch, expand that fascia a little further, deepening the sensation that we experience. Inhale, crown of the head reaching toward the sky. And exhale, go ahead and untwist now. We're going to simply allow this leg to align over that bottom leg for our shoelace pose next. I'm going to turn back now. And if you have a looser shoelace, if that leg can't stack on there exactly, that's fine too if you have a looser shoelace, or you can even extend that bottom leg to take a little bit easier variation of this pose. So wherever you're at, again, let's go ahead and start sitting up, and maybe you're just gonna stay sitting up today. Maybe that's plenty for you. From here, we're gonna inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, folding from the hips first, that flat back, so that bending is happening from the hips, not from the spine. And then exhale, allowing the rest of the upper body to melt forward. Finding our stillness here. And if you find this a little bit too intense today, but sitting up isn't quite enough, you can also place a pillow or a blanket, any kind of prop between your chest and your legs here as well. So this is another yin pose. We're going to hold this one for 3 minutes, going a little deeper into the hips today and the glutes. So again, just bring your awareness there, observing whatever sensations that you're feeling. Perhaps bringing that intention back to mind, repeating it a few more times. Believing it to be true as you speak it to yourself. As humans, our minds get wired based off the experiences we have, the things that we're taught. And it can be hard to change the ways that we think about ourselves, the things that we believe about ourselves. But we ultimately have the bottom say about what we're going to believe about ourselves and how we're going to speak to ourselves. So this practice is a great time to really practice changing that narrative, to begin bringing that awareness to how we speak to ourselves, and to take some of that control back where we can. We can't really find significant change in our lives or learn to like ourselves on a genuine level until we're willing to be really self-honest about the things we don't like about ourselves. And that doesn't necessarily mean berating ourselves, but being able to recognize and say, ooh, this is an area that maybe has room for some change or for some work or improvement. And that can coexist at the same time as beginning to change the ways that we speak to ourselves. We don't have to change how we are before being able to like ourselves more. It actually doesn't generally work that way in healing. So I really challenge you to meet yourself where you are with acceptance a little bit more each day. All right, with your next exhale, go ahead and gently bring that spine back up. So go ahead and untwist that top leg, bringing it behind, or however is easiest, meet back in down dog or just tabletop again. If you don't want to do your down dog today, that's totally fine. Just noticing any difference here in the back of the legs. Maybe taking a little rock side to side. Inhale. Exhale, step the left foot to the front of the mat this time. Again, just finding that lunge pose. Taking a moment to make sure those hips are tucked under, sinking them forward, being sure that knee isn't going past the toes here. Taking a little rock side to side, just taking a moment to feel your way into the pose. And then let's inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, sweep them forward. Exhale, cactus, peeling that chest open. Again, inhale, open. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, sweeping forward, opening between those shoulder blades. Exhale, driving the elbows back and peeling that chest open. Again, inhale, sweep forward. Reaching actively. Exhale, elbows back, opening through the chest. Pushing those palms out. Shoulder blades are still down and back. Again, taking a few more rounds of this nerve flossing here. Just gently dropping the fingertips and ear to one direction while the other fingertips pull up. Just feeling those areas of tension. Maybe as you drop your head to one side, beginning to turn that other palm forward or back. Seeing if that changes the sensation at all here. Releasing the hands now, good. Bring the hands to the inside of that left leg. Go ahead and heel toe to the outside of the mat, allowing that knee to fall away so the sole of the foot is lifting up a bit here. Again, just taking some moments to feel your way into the pose, maybe moving that shoulder toward and away from that front knee. And when you're ready, finding your stillness. Again, you can either stay up on the hands here or come down to the elbows. Or again, if you want to go even deeper and get into that quad a bit as well, go ahead and reach back with those left fingertips for those right toes, beginning to pull the heel closer toward the glutes. Connecting with that breath once again. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully and slowly. Inhale. Exhale, let go. See if you can stay connected to your breath here. Again, pulling that mind back each time you notice it's wandered, each time you see it go somewhere that's not serving you, that's not helping move you closer towards those intentions, those goals, those values. Take one more inhale here. Letting that exhale out completely. Releasing those back toes if you're in that twisted variation. And again, sliding that back leg up behind the front leg, finding our spinal twist again. So once more, you can simply hug that knee into the chest today if that is enough for you. Or if you want to take the twist, we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, crown of the head reaching up as we exhale, using that elbow to press against that knee, taking that twist, perhaps taking the bind here if that's within your practice. But don't bind if you have to bend forward and compromise the length in the spine here. I find the bind is a little helpful since it's within my mobility to help me stay in the twist easier. But of course, you don't want to force anything. Come back to that breath. Inhale, relaxation. Exhale, releasing tension. Where you are is exactly where you need to be right now. Allow yourself to be fully here. With your exhale, go ahead and release, untwisting. Again, allowing that top leg to just align over the bottom leg if you can, as much as you can, allowing those knees to come over one another. We're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Perhaps that's enough for you today to stay sitting up or simply lean forward slightly. But if you wish to go further, we're going to, once again, fold first from the hips with that flat back, then allow the head, the chest to melt forward. Again, using any block or not block, but any prop you need here today to rest on to maybe make this a little bit easier. So again, we will be here for 3 minutes. So I really encourage you to take this time to begin to tap into that meditative mindset a little bit further. Perhaps staying with that mantra, maybe counting the breaths here. With each deep inhale, each deep exhale. Simply observe for a moment if this hip on this side feels any different than that first side did. Just bringing attention to any imbalances within the body. Using that breath to imagine drawing the oxygen into those areas of stiffness. Each exhale, imagining that leave the body. As you relax a little deeper, surrendering to the pose. As we learn to move through the discomfort. We're a little over halfway on this side. Stay with the breath. Stay in the body. Take one more deep inhale. Exhaling completely. And when you're ready, go ahead and raise that chest back up. Taking your time to untwist, bringing that top leg back around, and stepping your way once more back into our down dog. Again, just observing the difference of sensation now in the back of the legs. Take any movement or stillness here. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, begin walking toward the front of the mat. Maybe taking a little hang here, grabbing opposite elbows for a moment. Keeping a slight bend in the knees here if you need to. Keep that bending from the hips. And with your exhale, go ahead and find your way down onto your back for our final Shavasana. Maybe taking a moment to roll those hips down, gently tuck the shoulder blades down and back, and perhaps invite the arms up overhead or down to the sides with palms facing up. Taking a few more moments before we move on with the busyness of our day to simply observe the effects of this practice. Inhaling, expanding through the belly. Exhale. Feel the body melting against the earth. Inhaling, relaxation. Up from the toes all the way up to the head. Exhaling, letting go of any residual tension. You melt a bit deeper. Just beginning to take a scan through the body, observing any changes and sensation that have occurred throughout this practice. Noticing the feet, the ankles, the lower legs, upper legs, hips and glutes, the pelvic floor, the torso, the chest and shoulders, arms, hands, neck. Feeling the back of the head resting gently, softening through the crown of the head, the forehead, every other little facial muscle. Just enjoying a few more moments of stillness and bliss. Take another moment to just scan through the body once more, observing the state of the mind and the emotions as well. Feeling the weight resting heavily against the surface beneath you. Inhaling deeply as the belly rises. Exhaling as it falls. Begin inviting some movement back into the fingers, the toes, maybe rocking that head side to side. Take a stretch any way you need to. And then when you're ready, go ahead and meet me seated at the center of the mat for a final closing breath together. Maybe keeping those eyes closed a moment longer. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, letting go of anything else that you've been holding on to that you don't need to carry through this day with you. Inviting back that intention to mind a few more times. Again, knowing that you already possess all that you need to begin walking into that reality of yourself. With your next inhale, reach those arms up overhead, inviting in those positive intentions. Exhale, letting go of anything you no longer need in this moment. And take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time to honor the mind and body in this way today. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. If you enjoyed this practice, would you please do me a huge favor and be sure to like this video as well as subscribe to my channel, as this can help me to get further reach and keep this channel going. I have many other videos of this style and others on my channel, as well as other free tips and educational resources for those who are interested in learning more about Yin Yoga therapy and the benefits of yoga for the mind, body, and spirit. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.